Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. It's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come in with some fresh legs as they got the week off last week thanks to the early season bye. And
usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top? He's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Gallman will run it. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And we take a look now at the New York offense.
Let's spotlight Odell Beckham Jr., who had a 1,000-yard season his first year in the league, despite not playing a full season, and that announced his presence with authority. How about this? The former cover athlete from Madden NFL 16, he's done nothing but pile up 1,000-yard seasons since.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him. And it'll be a loss of about 8. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing. But they watch the film as well, so they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Detroit! Detroit!
And instead, they want to throw it off play action. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your advice. They threw the football, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? No takeaway for the defense. They'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is taken at about the 14. Yeah, that's a pretty good one for the old average. 68 yards on the punt there. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. And they'll run it here. Finding room at the 30. And he'll take this all the way up to the 38-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. But they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Right back to him on 1st down. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second down, Prescott. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down. A look now at the starters for the Giants defensively. They were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And he's got it to Hearns. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Dak finding the former Jag Hearns for the Dallas 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
Offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he will bring this all the way back out to midfield. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. This is Gallman. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Well, look now at the starting 11 on defense for Dallas. They've been very good against the pass so far this year. Number 4 in the NFL right now.
And it's really difficult to prepare for this team. This is the number 1 overall passing team in the NFL, but it shouldn't be hard to get excited about playing against them. The ultimate test, going against that unit.
And that's why you and I are excited to broadcast this game.
Yes, sir.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Here's Gallman. And an alley to run. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
So let's go.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
First trip to the red zone for the Giants. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
Now Gallman. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He'll drop to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Demarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Looking left side, and it's complete. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. In for the score. And the Giants are going to take a 1st quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Aldrick Rosas on for the extra point. PAT up and good by Rosas. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. And And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The tackle by Janoris Jenkins. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
Prescott now on second down. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Prescott from the gun. He finds Hearns left side. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. The 15 yards through the air and a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The running back as he trots onto the field. A tough challenge here in this one. We'll see if he can duplicate the numbers on your screen that he put up last week, up over 100 and a touchdown.
We were watching tape to prepare for this game. One thing you noted that I totally agree with, great complimentary piece in the last game. You know, they're able to throw it pretty well. He ran it exceptionally, and they hope to continue that same formula in this game.
Complimentary with an E, not an I.
That's my English teacher right there.
They'll begin with a run by Gallman, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit, now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he's got this with across midfield into Cowboy territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Give them 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go now.
Back to throw. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. He had a little bit of a turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Dak Prescott of the offense heading back onto the field. He's got to feel grateful at this point. The defense was able to get the turnover and get the ball back because he threw the interception last time. Could be a 2-score deficit right now. Instead, still 1 score.
Grateful, relieved. Now he gets to turn to his offense and say, look at the gift we got from our teammates. Let's make sure we take advantage of it now. It could be, as you noted, a much bigger deficit.
And they'll go on the ground. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. Now flags fly in, and one of the Cowboys looked like he got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that
Still first
play.
down.
Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now they try the right side here. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. At the end of 1, 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. To throw is Prescott. Over the middle, the connection to Hearns. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. And that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Prescott now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. Now flags fly in, and one of the Cowboys looked like he got going a little early.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. And a nice run to get him past the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 7. It's 2nd and 8 now.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Prescott, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Janoris Jenkins with good coverage that time as he was able to get in there and knock it away.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
New York set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Set. Green, 39.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff?
Yeah.
Serve as your running play that way. as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down at the 28. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And on the ground they go with the running back. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
This is Scarborough, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year, and it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Prescott. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football. And they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Now let's go.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. 30, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Odell Beckham, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Rosas to add the extra point. Rosas good with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Prescott off play action. Rolling to it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Kareem Martin not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. He takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up fourth.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
So on fourth down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Giants will get it now at the 20. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Got him in. It's Deshaun Perriman. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And he's taken down inside the 30. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
This quarterback now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play?
Let's go.
Might want to check into a throw the next time.
Now back to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back At the 38, DeMarcus Lawrence. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. They'll look to throw. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete. Aldrich Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where you see the final score there. Sony Michel leading the charge on the ground. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Le'Veon Bell, what a game. 3 touchdown runs in the victory. And then lastly, the nation gets a good one on Monday night between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And an alley to run. He's got daylight. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Cowboys. As his guys are in for 6, and the Cowboys draw a bit closer. And people still trying to get back to their seats from the concession stand here at the start of the third quarter, and boom, we got points on the board.
And you just identified why the bulk of stadiums have increased presence in the concession areas, right? TVs, loudspeakers, so people can still follow the game. And right now, they're bummed out that they missed that big return to start this half.
And now Jason Garrett electing for his guys to try for 2. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. That's caught at the 2. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And not a whole lot doing there, as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll set up to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
He'll look to throw. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Dancing away at the 30. And a nice carry there, 15 yards.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and they ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
And a run with Scarborough, and able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Second down, Prescott. And shedding for Prescott stripped. And who's got it? The Giants.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. New York set to take the field. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Here we go now. Green 3.
And they'll go on the ground. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing,
and he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They had that lead, looked pretty comfortable in the first half, maybe got a little bit overconfident because that's gone now.
Almost takes us back to being kids, doesn't it? Because I know at some point your dad did the exact same thing mine did.
Okay.
It's okay to be confident, son, but overconfident, that's not a good thing. And that's maybe what we saw here. They thought they had this thing in hand, had full control, and guess what? They've got to find a way to get back to where they were before.
You think Papa Davis and Papa Gordon would get along?
I think they'd get along just fine. And you know something? They'd still be giving us advice.
Absolutely.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
It looks way too easy right now. 2 carries, 2 straight first-down runs. The eyes are carrying the legs to the proper hole, but they're being created by an offensive line that has the leverage game going for them right now. Lower than the defensive front, creating space, and he's finding it in a big way. Gotta love what they're doing on offense right now.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Here we go now. Green 3.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 more yards there and another first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
This quarterback now 10 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. David Irving in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
All right, here we go.
They'll drop to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Dante Fowler in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Hurry up, here we go.
Looking to throw. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Rashad Perriman, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are in for 6. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And that gives him a 3-point lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. And on the ground they go with the running back. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott looking sideline, incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And New York set to take the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. And they'll run it here. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Here we go now.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll get this up to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Couple of 1st downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Dante Fowler in on the stop.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point, just a field goal. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it? And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. Dante Fowler in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Prescott from the gun. It's caught right side. It turns. And down he'll go at the 25. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Prescott. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Charles, that was a heck of a play.
It truly was, because when he made that catch, he had to shake through some people, right? So that play, to me, a highlight film that should be accompanied by bass music, right? I mean, boom, 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 and he finds his way to the end zone. Terrific play.
Point after here coming up. Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, is going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? You give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Allen Hurns, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. The extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The New York set to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Giants on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 10. He'll look to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete. The Giants go on 4th, but come up empty. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now, really hoping for a turnover. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. A second down throw for Prescott. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Prescott now, perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Throwing, Prescott. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Throwing again, Prescott on 2nd and 10. This will be caught at about the 6. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Prescott now, and that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. And now out come the Giants. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Well, the Cowboys as pressure gets there this time for the sack. Malik Collins busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. The Giants on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 16. Back to throw here. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. It got his man complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Dante Fowler in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the
First down.
conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Back to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Odell Beckham with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead. He has his 2 scores, but still a sizable deficit in this game.
Do you have him in fantasy football this week?
Unfortunately, no.
It's too bad, right? That would have been big points, but he is really trying to rally his team as best he can. Things are not going as well the rest of the way for them. That's why they're down with this deficit. He might need to score a couple of more times to give them a chance.
Rosas true blue on the extra point, and that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He is north of 200 yards. Any time that you can say you're north of 200 yards, you've done something right.
Yeah, you're going to get some big check marks on your grade sheet, and you're going to be in heavy rotation on all the highlight shows, and you might even make a magazine cover or 2.
He's hoping for more, the cherry on top maybe, as this game goes forward. Now a handoff looking right, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. The offense on third down tonight, they're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They run. This is Scarborough. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Now they try the right side here. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Burns brings it in. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And they'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Time for a break as he's on to kick it away. We're back to finish this one off after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Jeff Heath, the strong safety, able to get in there on the coverage.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now back to throw. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Jalen Smith in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Fighting his way through contact. He finds Beckham complete. And all the way to the opposite 49-yard line. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Now a desperation. That's caught inside the 20. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Odell Beckham, 49 yards. And the Giants have got it back to a 1-score game.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this. I know you are, too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll look to throw, and this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. So still a little work to do here, but they got the much-needed conversion.
So they got that taken care of. Now you would assume onside kick in order to try and get the ball back again, in order to try and kick at least a tying field goal.
So they got their touchdown. Now down a field goal. Here comes the onside kick. And the Cowboys are able to recover. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though. Now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
One final kneel down here, and that should just about do it. And that kneel down a little extra sweet. You get the win, and you knock out somebody's perfect season.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because it's not a championship game yet, but the team that's undefeated feels like a champion. So you've won a little bit extra in this one. Yeah, they've got to feel great about taking a knee here.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Cowboys, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Meanwhile, for the Giants, it was a good first month, but they'll fall to 4-1 as they suffer their first loss. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From MetLife Stadium, good night, everybody.